Abundant Grace International School, we are located right in Obuasi, precisely BDM. The school has a number of facilities that aid in learning. We have qualified and trained teachers who are ready and willing to assist the children. The school has many facilities such as the ICT laboratory. We also have a science laboratory. We also have a library. The school has a number of buses which convey the children from their various destinations to the school premises. We have the football team, we have the drama group, we have a lot, and the school is based on the Christian principles. For more inquiries, you can call this number 0541 310 901 0541 670772. Abundant Grace, in God we trust.
Hello viewers, welcome once again to AGPS TV. My name is Abdelmumin Rafik, and today I will be your pre-technical skills facilitator for this lesson. And then today's topic is development of the surface of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. We are going to learn how to develop the surface of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. So under this, we shall look at the meaning of truncate, what frustum means. Then we'll also look at the procedure or the steps involved in drawing the development of the surface of a truncated or a frustum of a square prism. So without wasting my time, let's take a look at some terms involved in the development of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. Good. So when we say to truncate something, what does it mean? To truncate here means to shorten an object by cutting off the top or the end. To truncate, it means to shorten an object by cutting off the top or the end. Now when you talk about the frustum of an object is the portion of a cone, a pyramid, or a prism which remains after its upper part has been cut off by a plane parallel to its base. I take it again. Frustum. A frustum of an object is the portion of a cone, a pyramid, or a prism which remains after its upper part has been cut off by a plane parallel to its base. Now let us quickly look at some images of a frustum or a truncated object. So clearly this is an image of a truncated object. So the part remaining here is the frustum of it. So this is also an object portraying a frustum of this is let's say a square pyramid. This is a square pyramid. It has been truncated. So these are also some examples of frustums of a cone. So as you can see, the top part has been cut off, remaining the down part, and then that is called the frustum of an object. So what you are seeing on your screen, they are objects portraying frustum of cones. Then the down ones are frustum of pyramids. Very good. So this is also an object showing the frustum of a truncated tree. Good. So this one is also the frustum of a cone or a truncated cone. Good. So all these are displaying the frustum of objects. The frustum of objects. Very good. So now let's quickly go through the procedure involved. The procedure involved in drawing the surface development of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. The procedures. Good. So step one, you draw the given plan and the front elevation according to the given measurement. Step one, you draw the given plan and front elevation according to the given measurement. Now, in my last lesson, we learned about the plan of an object and then the front elevation of an object. Then step two is number the sides of the prism to correspond to both the front elevation and the plan. Step two, you number the sides of the prism to correspond to both the front elevation and the plan. Step three, you draw the cutting plane AA. Draw the cutting plane AA. Good. Step three, you draw the vertical heights. Draw the vertical heights of the truncated prism at a convenient distance from the front elevation. I take the step four again. Step four, you draw the vertical heights of the truncated prism at a convenient distance from the front elevation. Then 5, draw the horizontal line from the top and the bottom of the truncated to the vertical lines. We shall practically take a look at this, so viewers should just relax whilst I go through the procedures. Then step 6 is you mark off the sides 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 1. Mark off the sides 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then 4 to 1 of the prism on the horizontal lines. Then step 7, you draw horizontal lines from the points on the front elevation to the development to meet the numbers on the vertical. On the vertical. Then the 8th step, join these points with straight lines. Join these points with straight lines and draw the outlines of the development and use chain lines for the fold. The fold here means the hidden parts of the objects, and then they're indicated by short dashes or chain lines So in view of this, I have a video which will take us through these procedures that we've learned. So as the video displays, if you have any problem, you quickly go back to the procedure to link you to the video. So I'll display a video on the screen to guide us on how to practically draw the development of the surface of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. So let's watch the video. Good. So these are my set of instruments. That's my T-square. Then I am gradually placing it firmly on my drawing sheet. So as we said earlier on, we first have to draw the front elevation and the plan according to the given sides. So once it is a square prism, we know that prisms takes the name of the shape of their base. So our base here is going to be what? A square. And therefore we are going to draw the plan first. So the plan will take up the shape of a square. So that is it. I am constructing a square. According to the measurements given. So that is a square I'm trying to construct. Good. So watch closely how the square is being constructed. So I have my baseline, then I erect one end of it 90 degrees. So that is my 90 degrees angle I am trying to draw. That is 90 degrees angle I am drawing. Very good. You have to do it carefully so that your compass does not slip. So that is my 90 degrees angle I'm trying to erect to get my squared edge of the square. So because I want accuracy, I'm carefully using my drawing equipment. So that is it. I join to meet the intersection points. Good. So now I have one corner of my square. I have one corner of my square. So I use my compass. I open it to the other edge based on the dimension given. Based on the dimension given. Good. So to the other edge, then I draw an arc to cross my perpendicular line or to intersect my perpendicular line. Then I project the other edge up. I project the other edge up. Good. So I enclose it by joining the other edge. I enclose it by joining the other edge. So I have my plan completely drawn. That is my plan. So I label it 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is my plan. And that is the first step. That is my plan. That is the plan I have drawn. Very good. So now I'm going to draw my front elevation. My front elevation. And then in the procedure, we said that you leave a reasonable interval. So I have chosen to use 10 millimeters interval. 10 millimeters interval away from my plan. Away from my plan. Good. So I'm drawing my front. So that is it, 10 millimeters away from my plan. So you can choose to use, a convenient. It shouldn't be too wide, neither should it be too close to the plan. To the plan. Good. The procedure is somehow similar to drawing the surface development of a square prism, but then this one is a truncated square prism. So let us look at how this is done. So I draw the height of my front elevation. I draw the height of my front elevation. So I take my measurements. That is 75 millimeters. Good. So I transfer it from the drawing equipment to the drawing material. So that is my 75 millimeters. Good. That is one height or one side of the front elevation. Then I'm going to draw the other side. The other side. Good. The other side will be 55 millimeters. That is the sides or the dimensions or the measurements I've been given, or the measurement I prefer to use. So that is it. Now, if you've been following the lessons, during my last lesson, we did not do any truncation here because it was complete. But then this one is truncated. That is why it seems to be sliding. That is my cutting plane. It seems to be sliding. Good. Very good. So that is the front elevation. As you can see, it is not complete. It has been cut off. It has been cut off. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. It has been cut off. So this is the frustum or the truncated front elevation of a square prism. So I then project the front elevation. That is where I'm going to draw my developments. So I project my front elevation with my t-square, so that I can get accurate angles. So here, away from the front elevation, you leave a reasonable interval. So you can choose to use 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter interval. Then you project a line to the front elevation, vertical line to the front elevation. Good. Use carefully your t-square and your set square so that you can get accurate angles. Now I'm going to transfer the plan to the development parts. So I take one side of it because it is a square, it has all sides equal. So I'm stepping off. So that is 1, that is 2, 3, and 4. Good. So I step off 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. That is 2, 3, 4, 2, 1. We have 1, 1 at the edges because if I fold this object, the part labeled 1, 1 would meet. That is why I have the edges 1, 1. So I project my vertical edge carefully with my t-square and my set square. Good. Then I draw horizontal lines from the front elevation to the development side with my t-square to ensure accuracy. Good. So the cutting edge, I draw horizontal lines to the development side. Good. Now these are the fold parts or the hidden parts. When I fold it, you won't see these parts. So I indicate them with short dashes. And it must also be carefully done with your pair of set square. You can actually use any of them, but I'm using the 60-30 degrees set square. So that is my short dashes. I'm carefully indicating to show that this is a fold part. It is a fold part of my objects. And in drawing, all fold parts are indicated by short dashes. So this means that when I fold my objects, we will not see these parts. They will be within the objects. So that is my development mark I'm making on the sheet. You shouldn't deepen this. It should be done faintly. Good. To the last edge. Now let's see how I join them. So here you can use a rule. To join them. Good. Now I'm going to join them. So I join the first part with my t-square. So that's the first part I'm joining. That is 1 to 2. 1 to 2. Good. Then I join 2 to 3. 2 to 3. You should do this carefully and then try to avoid double lines. I join 2 to 3. Good. So 2 to 3. Good. Then 3 to 4. 3 to 4. I join 3 to 4. I'm carefully doing this to avoid double lines in my drawing. That is 3 to 4. Then the last part will be 4 to 1. 4 to 1. 4 to 1. Good. So this is the development of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. Now my drawing is not complete if I don't outline it. So I'm now going to carefully outline my drawing. So that you can see the actual drawing from the constructional lines. And this should be done carefully so that you don't end up producing double lines. Good. So I'm first of all outlining the development side of the drawing. So I deepen the other edge, but it should be done carefully to avoid double lines. That is the other edge. Then I deepen the base of it. It should be carefully done to avoid double lines. Very good. So that is it. So that is my development. I'm also outlining the front elevation. So that it will be distinguished from my projection lines. Good. That is my front elevation. I am outlining. I'm carefully doing this to avoid double lines. That is my cutting plane. I am outlining. Good. So this is how it will look like if it is carefully done. Now I have to dimension it. Give it a dimension. So that is my dimensioning lines I'm drawing. So we normally use 10 millimeters interval away from your drawing. Use 10 millimeters interval away from your drawing to indicate dimensional lines. That is my 10 millimeters I measured. So I use my T-square to join it to the other edge. Then I enclose the two edges with arrows. Good. So this means that the height from between the two edges is 75 millimeters. Then you write it. So I apply same to my plan. I'm dimensioning my plan. This should be carefully done. That is my 1 millimeter interval. 1 centimeter interval, 10 millimeters interval. So that is my dimension line. Then I indicate my dimension. That is 45 millimeters. Good. Now I have to label it. So this is my plan. Then my front elevation or front view. That is my front view. Good. Then this portion is the development. is the development. So I write my development of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. Development of the surface of a truncated square prism. Of a truncated or the frustum of a square prism. Of a square prism. Good. So that is how it is done. So if you don't label it, you stand a chance of losing marks. So if it is carefully done, your object should look like this. Your object should look like this. And now if you compare this to what we did the other time, you realize that they are far, far, far different. Because in the other one, there was nothing like truncation. It was a full object. But then this is a truncated form of what we did last week. Good. So that is so. Our cherished viewers, this brings us to the end of another successful lesson. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.
Abundant Grace International School, we are located right in Obuasi, precisely BDM. The school has a number of facilities that aid in learning. We have qualified and trained teachers who are ready and willing to assist the children. The school has many facilities such as the ICT laboratory. We also have a science laboratory. We also have a library. The school has a number of buses which convey the children from their various destinations to the school premises. We have the football team, we have the drama group, we have a lot, and the school is based on the Christian principles. For more inquiries, you can call this number 0541 310 901 0541 670772. Abundant Grace, in God we trust.